Hello, guys. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon. Yeah. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're fine today. We are going to advance on topic number 6, that is speaking part 1 in the FCE exam. According to the program, we have to continue with the speaking section. But first, I would like to make a review on the previous class homework. Yes, you had a homework that you had to complete. I don't know if you have already finished. It was a listening activity about listening section part number 2. Yes, I hope you have done it. And this was the document I shared with you into your platform. And it is supposed that you have to read and listen to the second part. So today we are going to check the answers. I hope everything is correct. Or if you have a couple of mistakes, we can correct them. Yes? So, did you do the homework, people? Well, apparently you didn't do the homework, but don't panic. Don't panic. We can do it right now. No problem. We are going to listen to this second part 2 times in this moment, and then we will complete these spaces. At the end of the activity, we are going to check the answers. Yes, from 9 to 18. I want to take advantage that Candy is here. Long time no see you, Candy. I haven't had any news, but it's nice to see that you're here. It's nice to listen to you. Um, I sent you a message last week asking you to create groups of 4 students for the learning activity number 4, but I haven't received any document. Have you already created it or not yet?
My bad, teacher, not yet. Well, that weekend, that week I was the entire presentations. My bad, but I'll do it as fast as possible.
Sure, no problem. Remember, we have to present learning activity number 4 in about 6 days. So it is important to have the groups created so I can organize them to receive just one per group. Yes. So if you can, um, it would be recommendable to send it until tomorrow, please. Yes. My advice is to join the previous groups, maybe group number 1 with group number 2, and there you have 4 people in the new group. Yes, that is my recommendation. But I know you will find the best way to create new groups. Yes. So I'll be waiting for it until tomorrow or maybe Thursday. Thank you, my dear Candy.
Sure.
Well, great. So let's check. Um,
Hi there, my name's Tim Tanner and I usually sing with my twin brother Sam Tanner. I'm going to tell you about our career. Sam and I have been pretty famous as the singing twin brothers for about 3 years, and we've appeared on lots of TV shows including Summer Holiday Special and Fun Time, which is the talent show where we were voted Best Act. You probably saw it. It's the one where the people in the acts had to be related to each other. After that, we had 4 hit singles in a row, and I guess the rest is history, really. People often ask us what it's like to be twins who've grown up looking so alike. Sam and I have shared almost every experience, and we're never usually apart for more than an hour at a time. I was born 10 minutes before Sam, so officially I'm the older brother, although we do actually have a real older brother, Ken, who's a year older than us. We were born premature, earlier than we were supposed to be. Mum says it was hard carrying both of us when she was pregnant, and she was quite relieved when we suddenly appeared in October rather than January, over 2 months earlier than expected. Our big brother Ken's birthday's in December, so we're pretty close in age. It must have been tough for our parents with 3 young boys. Sam and I aren't completely identical, but most people can't tell us apart. It's only Mum who never mixes us up. Even our dad makes a mistake sometimes calling me Sam and my brother Tim, because there's hardly any difference in our hair and we're the same height and build. But as soon as we open our mouths, he'll know which one it is by the voice. Sam's is a bit deeper than mine, but most people don't even notice that. In character, we're quite similar. We've both always loved music, and since we were 5, we've wanted to be pop stars. We've always had a real interest in going out and being sociable too. I'm a bit shy though. People that know us say I'm not as confident as Sam is, which is probably true. Although I'm not exactly shy, After all, you can't appear on TV if you are. At school, we used to pretend to be each other sometimes for a laugh. Sometimes we'd swap places for spelling tests, but nobody noticed because we got the same marks, which were pretty low. We were better at sports and both played in the school football team. I was also good at basketball, but Sam wasn't as keen, preferring volleyball for some reason. We were both much more interested in music. I began learning the guitar, and he started proper singing lessons with a private teacher when we were about 13. But a year or so later, we both got into dancing in a big way. And then we went to a special school where we could do loads of stuff that's turned out to be useful. Things like drama. We share everything and have one phone and computer between us, and we get on well almost 100% of the time. But of course, occasionally we have a row, usually about shoes because we share them too. But if we both want to wear the same ones for a show, then we'll argue for about 20 seconds and then one of us will give in and it'll all be over. We managed to share the computer pretty well without fighting over it, which some people might find surprising. Our image is based on being twins and looking alike, and because we both have poor eyesight, we enjoy choosing different styles of glasses for performances. Maybe green ones to go with green suits, or dark ones with t-shirts and jeans. So the glasses are a major aspect of the way people see us on stage. And look out for some new looks on our next tour to promote the new album, which is called Time Dance and comes out in a few weeks. It's got some exciting new songs on it, quite different from our first album, Soul Brothers. Sam and I wrote all the new songs together.
Now play the recording again.
Hi there, my name's Tim Tanner, and I usually sing with my twin brother Sam Tanner. I'm going to tell you about our career. Sam and I have been pretty famous as the singing twin brothers for about 3 years, and we've appeared on lots of TV shows, including Summer Holiday Special and Fun Time, which is the talent show where we were voted Best Act. You probably saw it. It's the one where the people in the acts had to be related to each other. After that, we had 4 hit singles in a row, and I guess the rest is history, really. People often ask us what it's like to be twins who've grown up looking so alike. Sam and I have shared almost every experience, and we're never usually apart for more than an hour at a time. I was born 10 minutes before Sam, so officially I'm the older brother, although we do actually have a real older brother, Ken, who's a year older than us. We were born premature, earlier than we were supposed to be. Mum says it was hard carrying both of us when she was pregnant, and she was quite relieved when we suddenly appeared in October rather than January, over 2 months earlier than expected. Our big brother Ken's birthday's in December, so we're pretty close in age. It must have been tough for our parents with 3 young boys. Sam and I aren't completely identical, but most people can't tell us apart. It's only Mum who never mixes us up. Even our dad makes a mistake sometimes calling me Sam and my brother Tim, because there's hardly any difference in our hair and we're the same height and build. But as soon as we open our mouths, he'll know which one it is by the voice. Sam's is a bit deeper than mine, but most people don't even notice that. In character, we're quite similar. We've both always loved music, and since we were 5, we've wanted to be pop stars. We've always had a real interest in going out and being sociable too. I'm a bit shy though. People that know us say I'm not as confident as Sam is, which is probably true. Although I'm not exactly shy, you know. After all, you can't appear on TV if you are. At school, we used to pretend to be each other sometimes for a laugh. Sometimes we'd swap places for spelling tests, but nobody noticed because we got the same marks, which were pretty low. We were better at sports and both played in the school football team. I was also good at basketball, but Sam wasn't as keen, preferring volleyball for some reason. We were both much more interested in music. I began learning the guitar, and he started proper singing lessons with a private teacher when we were about 13. But a year or so later, we both got into dancing in a big way. And then we went to a special school where we could do loads of stuff that's turned out to be useful. Things like drama. We share everything and have one phone and computer between us, and we get on well almost 100% of the time. But of course, occasionally we have a row, usually about shoes because we share them too. But if we both want to wear the same ones for a show, then we'll argue for about 20 seconds and then one of us will give in and it'll all be over. We managed to share the computer pretty well without fighting over it, which some people might find surprising. Our image is based on being twins and looking alike, and because we both have poor eyesight, we enjoy choosing different styles of glasses for performances. You know, maybe green ones to go with green suits, or dark ones with t-shirts and jeans. So the glasses are a major aspect of the way people see us on stage. And look out for some new looks on our next tour to promote the new album, which is called Time Dance and comes out in a few weeks. It's got some exciting new songs on it, quite different from our first album, Soul Brothers. Sam and I wrote all the new songs together.
Now play the recording again.
Okay, guys, we have heard the recording 2 times, and now I need to know if you have some answers. Yes, let's see. What about the first one? The name of the talent competition which the twins won is? What was the name of it? It comes from 2 words together. What is it? Anybody, please? Was it difficult? Okay, so you don't have that. Maybe number 10. Tim is exactly older than Sam. How much time of difference they have? It was not too much time. It was short period of time. Did you listen to it?
10 minutes.
Yes, it was 10 minutes. Okay. What about number 11? We have the twins were born in the month of, they mentioned they are premature. They appeared sooner than expected. But what was the month?
June.
Well, I'm going to write June. However, that is not the answer. I'm going to anticipate. So if somebody else has a different answer, please tell me. Okay, let's continue to the next. This is the main physical difference between Tim and Sam is there. What is the difference between them? The evident one. Okay, apparently you don't have the answer. Well, let's continue with number 13. Tim has less personality than Sam. No way, guys. Nobody.
Shyness.
Okay, shy. Okay, we're gonna say less shy personality. than Sam. At school, both Tim and Sam were good at what was the subject they were good at? Okay, I'm going to skip this one also. Um, Sam start taking what kind of lessons?
Guitar.
Guitar lessons. Okay, we're gonna
Okay.
say if that is correct. Guitar lessons when he was 13. The fact that the twins share the same sometimes leads to arguments. Okay, it was an accessory. It was part of the outfit. What is it?
Eyeglasses.
Okay, glasses. Okay, glasses. I think glasses is in the next one. This is key part of the twins image is the okay here. I think it's glasses. And finally, what is the title of the twins' next album? Remember, they are musicians also. So, what is the title of the next album? Did you notice it? Okay, so I hope you are not paying attention because otherwise, this is a terrible, terrible performance. Okay, these are the answers. The name of this competition is Fun Time. Yes, Fun Time. That is the answer number 9. Then you have 10 minutes. That was correct. October was the answer. And number 11. He said that it is supposed they had to appear on January, but as they are premature, they were born in October. Yes. The main physical difference between them is their voice. People usually notice who is who by listening to their voices. Number 13, it is not shy, it is confident. Yes, confident. Number 14, it was football or sports. The lessons, some mistaken, are singing lessons. Shoes was the problem here. Okay, they usually have some problems because they share um, shoes. Then glasses, as I mentioned before, is in number 17. And finally, the last one was the title of the next album. It is Time Events. Anyway, you need to practice. You need to practice a lot of listening. Yes, as I told you before, we have lots of these applications and sample tests in on the internet, or you can also find them in Play Store. You can also find some applications. Anyway, as I told you at the beginning of the class, we have to advance on the next topic. That is topic number 6. People who live with depression. Speaking part number 1 is the topic for today. Speaking part number 1. As you know, the FCE test has 4 different parts of speaking. Today we have to check what is the first one about. Let me see if I can find some. Um, no, this is not. Okay, I think this is the one I'm looking for. Yep, yep, this is not. Mhm. No, this is not. Anyway, we have, in the speaking part number one, candidates have the opportunity to show their ability to use general social and interactional language and to give basic personal information about themselves. The questions which are asked to relate to the candidates' own lives and focus on areas such as work, leisure time, and future plans. What is the specific objective of this part? In the speaking part number one, candidates are not actively invited to talk to each other in this part of the test. So this is an individual task. You are not going to talk to the person that you will take the test. Remember, we usually take the FCE test in pairs, sometimes in groups of 3, sometimes. This short social exchange is a natural way to begin an interaction, and it gives candidates time to settle before dealing with the more specific tasks in part number 2, 3, and 4. Cambridge English First Schools 2022. Okay, so this one, I think, in my personal opinion, as far as I'm concerned, the part number one is the easiest one from the speaking part because you have to answer questions about your personal life. Yes, work, leisure time, future plans. Where do you study? What do you do? Activities that are your everyday routine. So in this moment, we are going to watch a video. It is about 16 minutes video. In this one, we will watch this man, this guy, explaining the different questions and strategies that you can use to answer part number one properly. Okay, so we are going to, okay, let me see. I have to open it in a new tab. Okay, now you can go there.
Hey, welcome to KSC Academy. My name is Lewis, and in today's video, I want to talk about the B2 First Speaking Part 1. In a previous video, I already talked about the whole speaking test, but in this one, I want to focus specifically on Part 1. But before we carry on, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. So let's get started now. What are we going to learn in today's video? Well, we're going to be doing 4 things in particular. The first thing is we're going to see a description of the FCE Speaking Part 1. Okay, remember that FCE means First Certificate in English, which is the old name for the B2 First. All right, but whenever I say FCE or I say B2 First, I'm meaning or I'm referring to the same exam. So first we're going to see a description, then we're going to see different types of questions and topics that can appear in this part of the exam. And then we're going to see some sample questions for different topics. And then I'm going to tell you a few do's and don'ts for this part. Basically, I'm going to give you some recommendations on what to do and what to avoid. So let's start with the description of Speaking Part 1. Now, essentially, all right, this part of the speaking is an interview, which means that the examiner will ask you questions and you will have to answer them. And it is done individually. Even though you have a partner, you know this, all right, you have a partner for the exam, these questions are addressed to you and you have to answer them alone. And in total, all right, including the initial questions, each candidate will answer around 4 to 6 questions, all right? So these include your name, your where you come from, and then a few topic-based questions. Now, the order of the questions are the initial questions at the beginning, all right? And these include the name, asking for the mark sheets, and where you're from, these 3 questions, and then the topic questions. But we'll focus on this in a minute. Now let's move on to the questions and topics that you can see or that you will see in speaking part 1. Now, at the beginning, the interlocutor will ask you a series of fixed questions. So we're going to see an example right now. The interlocutor will say something like this. Good afternoon, my name is Lewis Wadley, and this is my colleague, whatever. And your names are? So here's where you need to say your name. And then he or she will ask for your mark sheets, right? They'll say, can I have your mark sheets, please? And you'll have to hand in the mark sheets. The mark sheet is just a piece of paper with your name and candidate number. And that's where the assessor, okay, that's the other examiner, it's where the assessor will write the scores that they give you. So, can I have your mark sheets, please? Thank you. Where are you from? Candidate A, and you, candidate B. First, we'd like to know something about you. And that's the first set of questions. That's the beginning of the exam, and it's always like that. Now, moving on to topic questions, which can be quite varied, to be honest. Here is an example which I've taken from the book that I wrote last summer, and I'll just leave the link below in case you're interested. In this case, there are a few questions about holidays and traveling, like, when was the last time that you went on holiday? Or when you're on holiday, how do you like to travel? How often do you travel abroad? And so on. So even though there are 4 or 5 questions per topic, this doesn't mean that the examiner will ask you or your partner or both of you the 4 questions. Okay, he or she will choose 1 or 2 as appropriate according to the time that they have, or the kind of language that you've already produced, or how long you've been speaking for. Another topic could be free time, like how do you like to spend your free time? That's a very typical question. Or how much free time do you have? Or do you prefer to spend your free time alone or with friends? And so on. And another topic could be something like television. Do you enjoy watching TV? Do you think people spend too much time watching TV nowadays? And so on. Now I'm going to show you more sample questions with different topics. All right. The first one here, for instance, is work and study. Things like, what do you do? As in, do you work? Do you study? What do you study? What do you work in? And so on. What would make a job interesting for you? What kind of skills do you need in your job? Etc. 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 For personal background as well, that's a very typical topic to ask about in this part of the exam. And how many different places have you lived during your life? Can you describe your neighborhood? Do you come from a big or a small family? Would you like to live in the same place for a long time? Blah, blah, blah. Another topic, which is very common, is travel and holidays. Like, how do you normally spend your holidays? What's the last foreign country you visited? Did you like it? Have you ever been to a city that has disappointed you? Where was it? What's the most interesting place you have visited and why? And do many tourists visit your city? And what's your favorite means of transport? So here you have a list of questions that could easily appear in this part of the exam. Now, if you want more sample questions, you can visit the post on my website, and you have the link here, and I'm going to leave the link in the description as well, where you have a few more topics and sample questions that you can use to practice. Now, this is probably the most important part of this video, all right? Because I'm going to give you some tips on how to do this part and some things that you have to avoid doing in the exam if you want to avoid losing points. So let's see. In general, your answers should be concise but complete. So in general, your answers should be concise but complete. That means short or not too long, but they must contain all the information necessary to provide a suitable answer to the examiner, right? Then obviously you need to produce B2 level language, all right, or language at a B2 level. And this is important as well, and some people forget it, and it's that you should avoid rehearsed answers, all right? So if you've memorized an answer for the first question, like where are you from, Be careful with that, because it's very easy as a teacher. I can tell that you've rehearsed that response, and I suppose the examiners don't like that either. So let's see now some examples of things that you should do and things that you shouldn't do. So I'm going to show you a few questions and a bad answer and a good answer, and I'm going to explain why one is wrong and the other one is okay. So the first one, where do you come from? And I say, I come from Ronda. Maybe this answer is suitable, right? But you can make it a little better by adding something like this. I come from a beautiful city in the south of Spain called Ronda. Now, I know that this is rehearsed, but it's only one sentence. So basically, if you manage to say something like that, go for it, okay? But to be honest, in this case, the first answer is not bad either. Another question, what do you like about the place where you live? Bad answer. I like the weather, the monuments, the people, and my neighborhood. And then we have a good answer. That would be something like, what I like most about Granada is that it has a very nice climate and many beautiful monuments. Now, why is the first one wrong and the second fine? Well, the first one is wrong because I'm only providing the examiner with a list of things. I'm saying, I like this, this, and that. And I'm not producing any particular language. However, in the second one, I'm saying what I like most, and that's like a B2 structure, what I like most about Granada is that it has a very nice climate and many beautiful monuments. So I'm adding more adjectives, I'm adding more structures, and it's much better than the first one. Then, do you and your friends recycle at home? Question about recycling. Do you and your friends recycle at home? Wrong answer. Yes, we do. Obviously, this is a very short answer. Whenever you answer a question, you need to justify why you think or don't think something. Yes, of course, recycling is extremely important, so we try to recycle everything. That's much better than just, yes, we do. And it's not a long answer, right? It's not a whole paragraph or anything. It's just quick answer, but with a justification. What sports do young people do in your country? Wrong answer. Football, basketball, handball, and tennis. Right? First of all, I'm providing just a list of things. And then I'm not even using a sentence. Okay, I'm not using a subject and a predicate. So that's something you must avoid at all costs. Right? So you could say something like, the most popular sports in Spain are, without a doubt, team sports like football or basketball. I mean, in the second answer, I'm only mentioning two sports, but I'm constructing a proper sentence, which is going to be a lot better for the examiner to know that I can speak English at a B2 level. All right? More. Is it expensive to eat out in your city? Wrong answer. Yes, very expensive. The other day I went out with some friends to a bar before going to the pub, and we had a problem with the bill and we had to pay more because the waiter had made a mistake. All right, this answer grammatically or linguistically is fine, but I'm not really answering the question. Is it expensive to eat out in your city? Yes, very expensive, but what comes next, the rest of the sentence or the rest of the answer is not really related. I mean, I'm not saying that it's expensive. I'm talking about one personal experience that I had, and I'm using that in my answer. And the examiner is not interested in this, right? The examiner is interested in your language and whether you're answering the question appropriately. And this is not an appropriate answer. An appropriate answer would be something like, well, it really depends on where you go. Some restaurants can be expensive, but there are also some inexpensive places. Okay, it depends on where you go. Some are expensive, but others are inexpensive. So this answer is very appropriate because it provides the information that the question is demanding, and it's not about something that happened to me one day. All right, the examiner is not asking about my life in particular. All right, it's asking about my city, and the second answer is much better. Another example. What type of music do you like? What type of music do you like? I normally listen to rock music.
Okay, so that part is not important. Important thing is the tips that he was giving to you about the first part and the speaking section. And as he mentioned, he said that you have to show that you have a B1, sorry, a B2 level of English. Yes, so you have to use language that fits with this level. Yes, don't answer with just little details. Remember, you have to give examples and also focus on the question. Sometimes you can answer something that they are not asking you, and it is going to be a bad idea to answer that way. Okay, so let's continue with the next section in our um, virtual class. Okay, this was the explanation of the different sections and questions that you can receive in the first part. Now we're going to watch another video. This is shorter. This is the real thing. We're going to see two students. They are real ones. And their names are Victoria and Edward. Yes, in a FC speaking test. Yes, Victoria and Edward. So let's listen to this, especially first part. That is the one we are studying today. Yes, let's listen to Victoria and Edward.
Mister, we cannot listen to the video.
Sorry, you didn't say anything. So we are going to watch it again. Now I'm going to share the sound. Yeah, we had a kind of technical inconvenience a few minutes ago, and then I didn't share the sound. Okay, now we are going to listen to it once again. Yes, just the first part.
My name is
Colleague Jill Budgie.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, now
And
can you hear it?
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
names are?
My name is Victoria Bessie.
My name is Edward Naranjo.
Can I have your mark sheets, please?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Where are you from, Victoria?
I'm from Germany. I'm from the north coast of Germany. And it's very nice there because I have lived close to the sea.
And Edward, where are you from?
I'm from Peru. I live in the capital, Lima. It's near the coast.
First, we'd like to know something about you. Victoria, how do you like to spend your evenings?
In Germany, I like to go to my horse. And now I go to the gym or do something else or spend time with my friends.
And Edward, tell us about a festival or celebration in Peru.
Well, in Peru there is a lot of festival. There is one called Mistura. It's about food. Because in Peru we have a lot of very different kinds of foods. So all that is better chefs and plates goes there, and there is a big festival in Lima, the capital.
Victoria, do you use the internet much?
At home, not really, but now I'm in England, so I used to Skype very often and to go, and look films at the internet or listen to music more because I have more free time now, yeah.
Edward, tell us about a film you really like.
A film? Well, I really like cars and action, so maybe Fast and Furious. This was quite interesting for me, the last one, the 6. I find it really good because there is quite expensive cars, the things I like.
Thank you. In this part of the test, I'm going to give each.
Okay, that was the first part. As you could listen, they only received some personal questions about films, about celebrations in their countries, activities they do the weekend, this type of things that are easy for you to answer, yes, because they are part of your everyday activities. So, yeah, part number 1 is not a big deal. It is the easiest one. Well, so let's continue with the next part in our virtual class. Here we have more links that you can visit. They have more information about speaking part number 1 from the B2 First FCE exam. Yes. Let's move to the self-evaluation. Yes. Here we have some expressions that we can use during the speaking part that make you to show you have a higher level of English. Yes. Are the following phrases used to give an opinion or clarifying an opinion? We have here, as far as I'm concerned. Is it to give an opinion or to clarify your opinion? What do you think?
Giving an opinion.
Giving an opinion. Yes, of course. Then we have the second one. It is, in my experience. What is the answer? Giving or clarifying?
Clarifying.
Clarifying, okay. No, you give an opinion when you say, in my experience. Let me explain.
Clarifying an opinion.
Yeah, this is for clarifying an opinion. Then we have number 4. Personally, I'll say that.
Giving an
Giving an opinion.
Yes, you're giving an opinion here. Number 6. The reason I say this is because
Clarifying.
Clarifying.
you're clarifying. Number 7. To put in another way,
Clarifying.
Clarifying. Yes, you change words. You change maybe the structure. What I mean by this, what I mean by that is
Clarifying.
clarifying. Number 9. Speaking for myself.
Giving an
Giving an
opinion.
opinion.
Opinion. Then you have yeah, this is kind of different. Other following phrases used to, it's the same. These are expressions useful to answer the speaking part 4. Select the best option to make concluding statements. Okay, then we have an agreement, think that, made a decision on
An
that.
agreement.
An agreement, okay?
Yeah. Oh, la mierda.
Okay, today is Tuesday, not Wednesday, but anyway, decision. Shall we make our final? Is this a decision now? Decision now? Okay, let's see. Yes, it's correct. Then we have, so we both
Think that.
think that. Yes. What have we decided then on that? Don't you? Decision now.
We decided then.
Yes, we have present perfect. I think that is it. Don't you? On that, made a decision, think that.
Don't you?
Don't you? Yes. Are we agreed? We decided then, think that, made a decision on that. What is the best complement?
Made a decision. On that?
Yeah, it's a question.
Okay.
On that. Yes, on that. It's a question. I think we've come to a conclusion about on that decision now, think that. Pretty simple.
To a conclusion about.
And about, yes, of course. We have reached. Don't you? We decided then, decision now. An agreement.
An agreement.
An agreement. This is not a question, of course. It's pretty simple. Yep, so we have 14/16. Yep. And this is the end of topic number 6, speaking part number 1. Well, do you have any questions about today's lesson? Maybe. So in that case, I think we can finish with this meeting. So please, Candy, don't forget to send me the groups, yes? And continue with the seguimiento del sílabo. It is also important. Thank you for being here, guys. I hope you have an excellent week.
Thank you very much, Mr. We are working on that.
Great, thank you. So see you next Tuesday. Have an excellent night.
Thank you. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Goodbye. Take care.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.